and they want to live this life on purpose. Go find some purpose.
Hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. We are back. Purpose Talks. This is my episode 9. I cannot believe it. I need to actually say it again. Episode 9. I am super, super excited and super, super proud of myself that I keep going. And just a word of encouragement to anyone that's been listening, who's tuned in, just keep going. Now, just like any other episode, this one is totally important, but I like to put it out there that this is our opinion and it's not necessarily the facts for everyone, but it's the facts for us. This episode is going to be talking about being a dark-skinned lady in South London, talking about melanin skin and talking about what the positives is, what's the negatives, what's the narratives, who's what, what's who, and why is it like that. And yeah, we're just going to get going. I want to quickly introduce you to my guest. Her name is Vicky. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to actually be here with me to speak about, to me, such a beautiful topic. I think it's really important that we talk about these things, especially being two dark-skinned ladies in society. And I want to say two successful dark-skinned ladies in society. But it's not easy for us. I think it's a long or harder road than most people go through. And I don't think people understand what we go through, first of all, as a woman, and secondly, when your colour doesn't always fit in, even if your qualifications does. And it's just something that we're going to be addressing. Now, anyone that knows me knows I always do a game, but this game is with a twist. So I'm just going to quickly introduce it quickly to myself and to Vicky. So this is a bag that represents a dark-skinned lady. As you can see, it's a see-through bag.
Okay.
On this side, it's empty. This side is empty. So there's no tricks. It's the real thing. And every time we feel that there's something that a dark-skinned woman has to go through more than somebody else, we are going to stick a sticker on this bag. At the end, I'm going to make you know the purpose of why we did it. So every time we feel that way, we're just going to stick a sticker. Vicky's got one side, I've got the next side, and we're just going to stick it in and see what happens at the end. So let's get straight into it. So as you can see, we're two beautiful dark-skinned ladies. Obviously, you're a dark-skinned child. And can you just tell me a little bit about your lifestyle being a dark-skinned girl from South London?
For me, it was okay. I had lots of dark-skinned friends. Yes, the brownings, they did get a look in more than the dark-skinned ones. But for me, I've always been proud to be dark, always from when I was young and right up to now. So it hasn't really bothered me, but more when I had my own child. Especially when I had my little girl, there was this professor who had 2 dolls, one white doll and one black doll, and a variety of children, black as well as white, and they all asked the same question: who was beautiful and who was ugly? And they all said the white doll was beautiful and the black doll was ugly. And for me, it touched my heart because, especially as a black person, for me, a white person's beautiful and a black person's beautiful. So when I had my own daughter, I never bought her any dolls that were white because I wanted her to be proud of who she is. Because being dark-skinned is a lovely thing. You can't be anything else because that's all you are. That's all you know. You're a dark-skinned girl. You're a dark-skinned sister. And you've got to be proud of it. And I wanted her to be so proud to be dark. It's important to be proud of who you are, whether you're white, black, whatever. But I wanted her to be so proud. And right now, she's more than proud and more. She's the vainest person I know. So she is so proud. And I think I've done a good job.
No, that's amazing. I think it's really super important to do that. And it's like these social experiences and experiments that people do, it's really important because it's quite sad that they only saw that the white doll was the beautiful doll and the dark-skinned doll wasn't. I think that kind of saddens my heart to feel like we still live in a society that dark skin sometimes is not accepted or not looked at as a beautiful thing. Yet still, if we look at it, and I'm just one of the realest people, many people want to darken their skin in some form of way or add or look like a black woman even if that's not their natural body or their natural complexion. So to know that we're still in a society that a darker lady is still struggling to be accepted, even from a dull aspect, from innocent children, because I don't believe children are nothing but innocent. It's the context in their head that if it doesn't look what their normality or society shows them, then it must be ugly. And that's a scary thought for me. Just like yourself, I'm a mother. I have dark-skinned children and dark-skinned grandchildren. And I've said it before in my episode, my granddaughter believes her name's Melanin Queen. And I think that's so important. It doesn't underestimate another person's culture or another belief, but it makes sure I'm empowering her and equipping her that your melanin is popping. And you need to be proud of that. No matter what society says or what they do, you need to know that you are actually beautiful in and outside. So I just want you to put a sticker on your one where the dark skin, because that was one of the things that was different for yourself. On that, I guess with myself growing up as a young lady from South London, I think I was always a confident young lady anyway. It was never really a thing with me and my friends about complexions. It was when guys or TV shows started to make us more aware that we were different. Yeah. So I noticed, and I'm going to put a sticker on that actually, because actually dark-skinned girls get more or less TV time show. So I noticed when they were advertising or doing programs with a black family, it was never two dark-skinned couples with a dark-skinned child. It was always like, it was either a white mom with a black dad with a mixed child, or it was like the other way around. But you never ever saw, well, you didn't see much of a dark-skinned girl, dark-skinned family, rusters, you know, literally someone that you can look at for yourself. And I think that was a big thing for me. So I'm going to put a sticker on that. So for me, I'm just like, where and who represents me? And that's where my struggle was. It wasn't necessarily in my friendship groups. I went to a school where majority of us was black. South London, I think at that time, was a lot of black families anyway. And I feel like more culture difference was more big than colorism.
Yeah, I have to agree.
Yeah, I think it was more like, if you're Jamaican, then you're the Jamaican crew. And if you're African, you're the African crew kind of thing. And I think it's now evident that there is something different with dark-skinned women having to struggle a bit more than a light-skinned woman. So I'm going to put that. Because if you look in society now and look at jobs and people in empowerment, again, I don't see much women that look like myself in high positions or making crucial decisions for our children, especially when we look in, I'm in the educational field. When you look at the leaderships in schools, there's not many leaders that black children can look at and say, I can become this. I feel like there's a limitation. So you can become as good as this, but it stops there.
Okay.
I don't see many black head teachers. I'm not saying there isn't any, but there's majority are not black, especially in the black, I would say, area. And I think it's quite sad. And I think sometimes we have to be open and honest that we do need our own to represent our own. Doesn't make you racist, it makes you relatable. And people have to get out of this thing, just because I talk about my black culture, just because I talk as a black woman, doesn't make me racist. It makes me a black person. And I'm okay, and I should be free enough to speak about my black culture and not feel like, oh my God, they're going to think, oh my God. I think some of the things, again, I'm going to get myself a third thing, is the way we speak and way we talk can be a thing for some people. What do you think?
Yeah, I've had it all my life, because I've had, oh, you talk very white. Even on the phone, if I'm on the phone and I'm doing an interview, they're all like, yeah, that's nice. And then when they see me, they're like, oh. So I've had it all my life. I mean, I still get it now. I still get it now. Oh, why do you talk like that? Because they say I sound white, because I pronounce my words. But for me, you know, I just sound like myself. I sound like Vicky. You know, it's who I am. I'm not trying to be anybody else but Vicky. I can't be anybody else but myself. And I'm quite happy about it. I used to bother me. It used to bother me quite a lot when I was younger, because I think, oh no, I don't want to sound like that. But now I'm just like, it is what it is. This is the way I'm sound. I'm not going to change for nobody else. At this age, this is who I am. If you don't like it, then don't speak to me. That's me. That's me, done and dusted.
That's good. So maybe we can put a sticker on about the way we speak.
Okay.
So on your side, your sticker is the way that people maybe speak to us or the way we sound. In fact, let's get into some things that we can just be passing the bag back to back, of things that we feel that we might become an obstacle in our way for being a dark-skinned person. So if it relates to you, then I'll just hold you the bag, and then you just put a sticker if you feel like. Okay, so I feel like the way we do our hair, I think we're judged by that. And if a white person, let's just say how it is, had locks, it's not seen as a wrong hairstyle. Like, but with us, locks is like, can I touch your hair? Like, well, no. Like, it's just my hair. So I think a lot of the time, I think one thing we need to encourage our children is that your hair is your hair, and it can grow, and you're beautiful, and you can wear your afros, and you don't necessarily have to perm your hair, but you also can, if that's what you've made a choice to do. It's okay to do that, but don't feel like you need to do that to fit in or to be a part of society of what they're telling us to do. Like, that's not how life is. You're okay to have natural hair. So I think that's a sticker that girls go through, like natural hair. Another thing I think, like I said already, is the way we speak. Now, yours was, I know that you talk quite clear and good English, but also the way we speak with our hands. Society wants to judge us to think like we're arrogant, ignorant, loud, or a threat because we're speaking with passion. And when we get passionate, like, when I get passionate, I'm very much like, yeah, da, 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 da. But I'm excited. I'm not a threat to society. I'm just really excited on what I'm speaking about. So I think the sticker for me will be the lack of understanding of when someone is using their hands as a part of their conversation, or it doesn't mean that they're being aggressive. Another thing I think a lot of black women get done for is that we're too empowered. Like, people see us as a threat because we're very outspoken and we're not going to back down. And I think some people don't like that factor, that actually I'm a strong black lady. I think sometimes people want to not say it or say what's really on their mind. And then when we do say, we get penalized for it. So I feel like it's okay to have your opinion. It's okay to say, I'm black and proud. Like, I want us to start normalizing things and not feeling like I don't want to say it because they're going to think all she talks about is black power. But for me, if I'm only black, I only can talk about my black self.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't know how anyone else feels about, I'm not another colour. I'm not another culture. So I don't feel like I'm privy to speak upon something like that. Like, I can't talk from a black man's point of view because I don't know what the struggles he went through.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah,
so there's a couple of things that I feel like we should be able to talk about. And even interviews, like you said, it's so weird, isn't it? Like, our names are quite European. So when they see the application form, there was this expecting somebody, and then all of a sudden this Rasta girl comes in, and it's like, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that. Like, why are people so surprised of that we can speak elegant? Why are people so surprised that we can get that job? Why is it so harder for us to get a job? So I feel like, for me, I want application forms not to say, what's your culture background? Because I feel like we're already one step behind, or even 10 steps behind the minute we tick Afro-Caribbean. I think it's just a tick box. I think that's something that a sticker gets, because I don't it's the right thing. What do you think some things a black woman go through? I'll stick them for you. Whatever things you think.
We said about the speech. I think that's very important. I just think all I want is for us to be the same like everybody else. That's really important for me. And my daughter's growing up into it now. I'm a lot older, and obviously my daughter's growing up, and I want her to be happy who she is. I want her to go out there and say, look at me, I can get any job I want. Just like the next person. I don't want her to be thinking, and also thinking about her hair. Like, She loves having her hair natural. She loves having her hair in plaits. But I want her to, if I'm honest, I would rather her don't do weave. But I know they've all got to go for it. I never really went for it, but I know she's going to go for it. But I'd rather she didn't. But as I said, I know she's going to go for it. She had the locks, and then she decided she didn't want the locks, so she cut it out. Fair enough. But now she'll wear her hair natural. We went on holiday, and she was in and out of the water, and she had natural hair. She didn't have no plaits, and she loves her hair. I just want her to love every inch of her body, every inch of her, from her hair right down to her toes. That is the most important for me. Really, really important.
No, it's really true. And I'm going to give a sticker about more role models. Just generally across, like, like growing up, I don't know about for everyone, but for myself, it was more of a respect thing where if I saw someone that looked similar or acted similar to my parents or grandparents or whoever I lived with at the time, it was called auntie. Like, there was just a big respect thing that's going on. I think that needs to come back in society where we're just respecting each other as dark-skinned people as well. I feel we represent each other when we feel like it, and then when it doesn't suit us, we don't. I just want to touch upon, because obviously we're from South, we've seen this video go around about this girl in Peckham with the weave, and I think it's important that we touch upon it. And again, I just want to make the viewers know this is our personal opinion. Everyone is free to have their opinion, and that's okay. None of us was there. We don't know the start, in the beginning, the middle, or the end. We only know the clips that we saw, and that's really important. And I remember the video being sent to me several times, and it's like everyone was anxious for me to give an opinion. And I think most people was quite shocked that I didn't. And the reason why I didn't have an opinion, first of all, I wasn't there. Secondly, I think there's videos, clips, and then there's the truth. And thirdly, my opinion doesn't matter. And it's not going to change anything. And that's the honest truth, because I don't go to the shop. I don't know the lady. I'm not in the position that I'm going to now open up a black hairdressers for you to come and buy your hair from this place. I'm not in a position to open up a charity, and I'm not putting myself in that position. So although I think protesting is a great thing for people to do if they're passionate about something, where does it go beyond a passion? And why do we only stick up for black things when they are bad? Why are we not going on rallies saying congratulations to that 2,000 students that just passed their degrees? Why are we not having positive rallies? I'm not saying rallies are negative. What I'm saying is it's like a negative situation to start off a rally when we should be like, oh my gosh, we have 700 students, black boys and girls that just passed Oxford University, and that's what we're wearing their names on their t-shirts. I'm tired, and I'm sure I can speak on some behalf of families that the only time we're seeing our black kids on t-shirts is when we're saying RIP. I'm tired of that. It's sickening. It's heartbreaking. It's like, oh my God, is that the only time we rep our kids on our t-shirts? Like, when are we going to start saying, actually, our kids are really doing well? Let's do a rally about that. Our kids are going to Oxford. Our kids just opened up their own food shop. Our children just done that, and start doing positive rallies. I'm not really interested in negativity or things that don't have anything to go upon it, because I'll let you talk about the thing yourself. But I feel like after we heard about this young lady and saw a few clips, it's gone dead. So what was the purpose of it? You know what your opinion is. I'm just going to put a tick in it. Positive things.
I think for that one, it's a hard one, because obviously he shouldn't have put his hands where he put his hands. But what happened before? And as you said, me personally, I think the rally was important. I do think it was important to put it out there. You know, you can't treat somebody like that. But you got to think, what's the next step? What can we do so it don't happen again? Because we don't want that to happen again. I feel it for the woman. As I said, we got to think of the next step, because as you said, it's gone a bit dead. What's the next step now? What's going to happen with the woman and the man? And what can we do so it doesn't happen again? We don't want that to happen again, you know, because that's quite serious. He's a man and she's a woman. I know you shouldn't say that, but he is a man and she is a woman. So, you know, we have to think, what can we do so it doesn't happen again, so we can make things better, you know, between both parties. whether you're black, white, Indian, whatever. We have to try and make it better between both parties. So that's my personal opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's respected in the studio. I feel like it's so important that everyone is opinionated in their own ways and how they see it. And like I said, this is our opinion, guys. It's not necessarily what we don't know. There could be something happening next steps. We're just not aware of it. We haven't seen it. And what we're saying very clearly is that we want to know what's the next steps. We just don't want to keep on seeing rallies and nothing taking place. One rally that I do think was really good was with the unfortunate death of the young boy, Chris. And I've been following that story. And now that a police officer is being charged with his murder. Now, again, I think it's quite sad that it's got to a stage where it had to be a death of a young man that was actually becoming a father and didn't get to see his child. His child is 9 months old now, and I'm just going by the news reports. I don't know the family personally, and justice is getting done. But it's like, as black people, why do we have to wait for deaths, for justice? Why was he a target? Why? I think for a lot of times in society, it's like a lot of why questions for us. Why is that happening? I think when one of ours go missing or one of ours gets murdered or there's something that's happening with a black person, it's not really dealt with sufficiently or quick enough. And I think, unfortunately, when it is another culture, it's evident that they find all this evidence so quickly. They find the killer, the culprits, or the people that could in between. And it's like, why are we not being treated as equals now in 2023? And I'm not saying by all, because some people do treat us as equals, and that needs to be said. And we need to say that we do see it, but we're not seeing it enough.
Yeah,
you know, there's too much, and I'm going to put a little sticker on my thing. There's not enough times where we are confident as people. I watch a lot of podcasts because I think it's important if you do something to watch somebody else's as well. And I'm seeing a lot of time there's not enough positivity of even when it's about police. Like, black people, no, we don't snitch. We don't do this. We don't do that. When are we going to start changing the lingo or looking at people that's supposed to be helping us and feeling safe that these people are going to help us? And if we feel like the same people that are put in a position to help us, i.e. the police officer, and they're killing our own, then it's not going to give us reassurance or guidance or feeling safe to actually use a system that's systematically supposed to be helping us. And a lot of times, something that I want to touch upon and hear your opinion, a lot of my friends are talking about leaving England and going back home, whether that's Africa, Jamaica, whatever, because they just feel like we don't belong here. But then where do we belong? And running away or go back home, because I don't want to say people are running away, how does that change the politics for those who are going to be the next generation? How do we fix that? Give myself a little sticker.
That's quite a hard one. I don't know. Yeah, if that's where you're from and you know the country, I suppose if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. I can only speak for me personally. I'm quite happy in this country. You know, yeah, things can be changed, but things can be changed anyway. It is what it is. You know, you got to live your life to the fullest, and you got to live your life for now. I think it's important for me. It's just knowing who you are. So whether you're going to go back to Jamaica, go back to Africa, make sure you're doing it for the right reason. You're not follow fashion, as they would say. You're not doing it because the whole family's done it. But when you get there, you're stuck because it's a whole different ball game. You got to remember, you got to have that money when you're out there. It's not so easy as here. When you go to Jamaica, you have to know you have that money. It's not easy. So saying, oh, I'm going to go back home, that's a good thing. If that's what you want to do, then all for it. But just make sure you're doing it for the right reason.
Yeah, 100%. I'm going to give you the bag to put some stickers on because we're going to touch upon the next topic. I really want to touch upon artists and music and how do they represent us and if they are representing us in the correct way. Now, for me, I listen to a lot of bashment music, just culturally. It's just what I like anyway. And, you know, growing up, there used to be like 4 top artists for me growing up. It was like Beanie Man, Buju Banton, then you had Movado and Vice Cartel. I feel like for me, they were just like, yeah, they're the guys. You had the Lady Saws and the Spice, and we'll talk about the female artists afterwards, but like talking about the male role models of music and even the languages that they used. And I think for me, it was a lot of positivity when like Beanie Man and Buju Banton was kind of clashing. To me, it was a healthy clash. When Mavado and Vice Cartel started clashing, it was more like a war violence clash. And it's almost like, do you represent us? And then I feel like I was like highly disappointed with Vice Cartel when he started bleaching his skin, because it didn't encourage me to be, I'm always proud of being a black girl, I'm always proud to be dark skinned, but it's like, why wasn't you proud enough to stay your complexion? And I wanted to know what mentally was going through your mind while you felt like you had to bleach out your skin, because you're so successful. Like everyone loved your music, from elders to youngers, everyone sang your songs. It wasn't, even with the war, at some point you could say he was kind of on top of Mavado in certain aspects, in certain songs, depending on if you liked the Garrison and the Gaza or whatever, but he was doing very well. What mentally went into his mind where he felt like, being a dark-skinned man, he had to change that? Like, do you think there's something going on there?
See, I'm the opposite. Okay. So I do like my bashment when I was growing up, but I'm a Soca head.
Okay. Oh.
So you don't really get that in Soca.
That's okay.
You don't really get. I love my Soca. I love my bashment. Don't get me wrong, but I love my Soca. Anybody who knows me knows I love my Soca. The bleaching thing, I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know, because I've never thought I have to do it on myself about bleaching my skin. Never. Oh, I want to be lighter. Not even when I was younger. Oh, no. I love the complexion I am. And as I said, I can only chat about myself. I love the complexion I am. And I know my kids love their complexion. Love their complexion. Wanting to bleach, I don't even know what you're thinking. You can't love yourself as much. You can't, because you want to change who you are.
That's a sticker there, boy.
This world the way you are. So enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, we need to stick that on that bag, boy. Like, bleaching, I just think it's just no. Just no. Just don't do it. Like, you need to embrace, like you said, and love yourself. And even if, because sometimes, I guess, we were very privileged that we didn't actually face any hardship when it came to being a dark-skinned person in South London. However, there are some people that did face that. But I don't feel like it should become, and I want to be sensitive to this because I didn't face it, so I don't know much about it, to a point where you have to bleach your skin because you think you're not enough. And I think that's where it becomes about self-hate and self-love. And are you going to love yourself more because you're lighter, because you're still you? And I think that's what people don't understand. If I cut myself now and a white person cuts themselves, we're still going to bleed the same. We're still going to need the same operation. We're still going to need the same stitches or whatever it is. So it doesn't change me because my complexion is changed. I think it's about changing your mindset of you are good enough. And I think a lot of things happen to people because they don't believe they're good enough. So, oh my God, if I change this, if I dye my hair, if I wear enough makeup, if I do this, and you're not making up you. My thing is, I believe in my heart that we all have a purpose anyway. And I think we're all made in our unique way and we have our unique style about us. Otherwise, the world would be boring if it was all exactly the same. Exactly. So we need our dark-skinned melanin people out here to represent and for the next generation to see. But not just only a next generation of melanin queens and kings, any generation, any culture to see that it's okay. Like, I work in the educational field. And I always make it my duty to make people normalize to say, you can call me a dark-skinned black lady. That is my description. That's who I am. Don't be scared to say, I don't like the word coloured, because I'm not coloured.
I don't like that word.
There's nothing colouring about me apart from my bright nails. My skin is a dark-skinned lady, and I want you to address me correctly. Yeah. Because if I was to say to another culture, all your skin or different colours of your skin, you would take it as offence to that. I'm saying that you've got blotches or you're a bit red or a bit peach or a bit this. You'll find it quite rude. So I'm not a colouring book. I'm just one colour and I'm a dark-skinned lady. And that's it. So I try to really go into education and really normalise saying these words from all different cultures. You can say, I am this. However, it's the way you say it. So I had an incident at one of my workplaces when a staff member said, go to that black lady. Like, what does that actually mean? First of all, I think in the context of it, it's just go to that teacher or go to Miss whoever the surname is. At that point, the colour isn't important. You just need to go to the person that needs to deal with that situation. So I think people don't, sometimes when people are using it, they're using it in the wrong way. And you don't have to, oh, I'm allowed to use it now, so I keep on using it. Oh, I better just keep on saying it. And we're going to make them feel better now I'm saying it. No, we're not looking at a pity story. We're asking you to recognise us, who we are, but use it in the right context. Like, I'm a dark-skinned lady. I might, and more than likely, relate a bit better to children that identify and look like me. But not all.
Yeah, exactly.
There's going to be kids that don't look like me, but actually they just feel my warmness, my spirit, my love, my energy, and just generally want to speak to me. And it's about getting that balance out there in society. I was asked this question the other day, and there's like to me, would I date out my race as a black dark-skinned girl? And like everyone's like waiting for my answer. And I was just like, no, absolutely not. And it's not a bad thing. I feel like I have children already that are dark skinned. I have grandchildren that are black already. I feel for me, my personal opinion as Miss Purpose, I don't bring that confusion in my life. Like, I don't want the child to feel less or more or different or whatever. So for me, I'd rather just keep it all 100. I don't know. What's your opinion about mix?
I've been asked that.
Okay.
For me, I always say no. I can't predict the future. So I don't know. Years, I might find this very nice. Somebody's out my culture. But for now, I would say no. Because I've got a saying, the darker the berry, the sweeter the...
Come on.
And that's for me personally. That's not for everybody. I'm not condemning anybody who wants to date outside their race. That's you.
Literally.
That's just not me. And I know what I like and what at the moment I don't like.
Yeah.
So it's, as I said, I'm not condemned, but this is me. I can only talk about me.
And that's it. And I think people should be free to say that without feeling nervous or feeling, oh my God, if I say that, do they feel like I'm a racist? Like, because I don't want to date my culture. No, it's okay to say, I love black love. Like, and say it proudly, I'm a black woman who wants to be with a black man and have a black family.
Yeah.
That's it. It doesn't make me bad. It doesn't make another culture bad. A lot of times as well, I think as black people, we are the ones that put the labels on ourselves sometimes.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think we can't say it. So then we've built up this picture in our head of people not wanting us to say it. So we haven't said it. Like going right back to the music thing, I think right now, looking at the female artists, especially the up and coming or already established dark skinned women, they are really smashing it and they're really making it out here. Like the song that I'm teaching my granddaughter is Black is Beautiful. Yeah. And that song is just like totally amazing for me. And I feel like it needs to be an anthem in schools, like just like other songs are. And I think every child should sing it because it's just bringing unity. It's not just a song for black children to sing. It's about the society recognize black is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. That's
Do you know what I mean? It needs to be a saying. It needs to be a motto. I don't want it to be like people's asking me, oh, Black culture, Black History Month is coming up. I said it's every month. Black is just beautiful every month. Do you know what I mean? There's no particular month. I'm not more beautiful in October. I don't represent myself only 1 month a year. Like, no, it's okay. And I feel like I need to respect these artists. And it's not just Jamaican artists that are singing songs now about Black beauty. Like we have Spice, obviously she sings her song. And I think that colorism is so deep because we just touched upon all their songs. So Colorism from Spice, where she shows you like and asks you the question. She pretends that she bleaches her skin and she asks you, am I now prettier now that I've bleached my skin? And it's actually, the lyrics are quite deep for her saying, and she says, I get fights from my own people.
It's sad.
And it's sad, and it's deep. Yeah. You know, it's a deep wounded wound. Like even in a Jamaican background, like you're so black. You're so black like your dad. Like there's such a negative sometimes from our own people that say it. Oh my gosh, you're so dark in it. are you black monkey? Sometimes we're all saying things and don't realize and think it's a joke. That's not a joke. Don't ever call me a monkey. Ever. Do you know what I mean? That's not something I'm playing with. Like, we are gonna we're not gonna be friends at all after that, because I feel like it's such a disrespect.
Yeah.
So her lyrics, where she's talking about colorism, is for everyone to understand, but also to educate those who are not black that this is how we feel when you try to put us in a box.
Yeah.
I think that just deserves one stick out. Like, stick that on that. Stop putting us in a box.
Nice big one.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, don't do that.
Definitely.
So colorism is such a big thing. And then we got Shanae, and she sings Black is Beautiful. And she literally talks about teach your children. She doesn't say teach the black girls.
The children in general.
She says children, just teach them that black is beautiful. And I feel like you don't have to say, I hate really with a heave, you're so pretty for a dark skinned girl. What? I'm pretty anyway. What's it got to do because I'm a dark skin or light skin? Like, I'm pretty. That's it. Just say you're really pretty, or I like your hairstyle, or I like your locks, or I like whatever. But you don't have to add anything on. There's no comma, just full stop. I'm pretty, period. That's it. So I feel like that's what she's trying to get out there. What I get from it, she just says, tell your kids that you are beautiful. Tell your dark skinned kids to be proud of who they are. And I think that's such a positive message. I feel like we should be wearing them t-shirts proudly. Black is beautiful, and all cultures should be able to buy into it. All cultures should be able to wear it, and just saying, I respect black is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's it. And I feel there's another artist that I know out there, English artist, Mama Marissa. She sings my Melanin's Poppin'. Okay. And English artist, UK artist, big you up all the time. And I love it. Dark skin girl, beautiful, talented, and she's just saying my melanin is popping. And it's true, her melanin is popping, our melanin is popping. It's something that we need to be like, yo, I'm popping out here. Not just in the summer, all sorts of weather. You gotta see me and I'm popping out here. And I just feel like really proud to say there's mostly many more songs out there, but really proud that artists are now recognizing and getting recognized for their dark skin, for their lyrics, and people are actually singing with it and like really embracing this dark skin melanin culture. So yeah, I'm really like proud of them for it. I don't know your opinion of any of the artists and stuff.
I totally agree with what you've just said there. Totally agree. I can't say no more.
Yeah, it's just
it's good. We need to be proud of who we are. That's the most important. You have to be proud of who you are. Whatever skin complexion you are, you have to be proud of who you are. Because you can't be anybody else but you.
And this is it. I think the thing about what needs to be changed now in society, let's touch upon what are we going to put a sticker on that bag about, what we think is still missing for us as black, dark-skinned women in society right now. To
see more of us on the people you can relate to on the television.
That's a definite sticker.
You need that. You know, we need to be able to see people we can actually relate to in positive roles, doctors, lawyers, you know, really positive roles. That would be really good.
Yeah. I wasn't going to touch upon it, but I've got it. Like, I feel like I'm so tired and so bored. I know it's not going to be a popular thing that I say, but of black people being represented with TV programs like Top Boy. I'm just so bored about it. I feel like it's just so dry now. It's so dead out, and we're not all drug dealers, gang dealers, shootings and all that. We don't need to just always represent ourselves. We need someone to make a film of a successful black couple that made it through life, and not all of us had to have struggled to made it as well. There's some billionaires out there, and I want a series to go out there that people are so excited, like Top Boy. Big up Top Boy, by the way. I haven't got no issues with them. What I'm saying is, when I sit down my children, my son, I don't even think that's the only way of getting onto TV or getting seen or getting the most views. It's okay to have your own successful business without drugs and guns being involved. And I feel a lot of the time, a lot of songs, a lot of movies, there might be a positive outcome at the end, but it's always like it always was a struggle, or it always was a death, or it was always a drug deal that went wrong, or it was always someone stabbing someone, or an op, or it's never just positivity all the way through. And we are actually a positive society, part of society. Like, our culture is not all about gangs and drugs and death. So it's just not. It's like, why can't we have something like, I don't know if you used to watch French Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's such a positive program if you look at it in the sense of it wasn't a killing. Yes, Will left somewhere, but his mum, I deep it quite deep. I feel like his mum was struggling. He got himself in a gang. His mum didn't want that, so she shipped him off to a family that could offer him a better future. And for me, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think you have to wait till someone dies and says, in memory of. I just feel like, why can't we
two
just...
ways to that.
Yeah. I just feel like we're not all bad people. And I just want to see more positivity with our complexion on the TVs. I want to see more things that our youth can look up to and say, do you know what? I actually want to become that. I want to wake up every morning and go to work and open up my own business and be successful without being judged. I want to look out my window and not see the 12th floor. I want to buy my house. I just feel like there is a lot out there, but it's not out there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like, especially for English filmmaking. So French Prince of Bel-Air, people could say, yes, it's a good one or a negative one. That's fine. But what I'm saying, I can't find any good English filmmakers that are showing positivity in Black culture that doesn't revolve around gang life. I tried to find it. I couldn't. They could be out there. And if you know about it, guys, let me know. But we're more than a gang.
That's true. That's true. Oh, yeah, most definitely. I agree with that.
Yeah, we're more than a gang. We're more than that. Like, yes, it's there and we're not trying to hide behind it. We're not trying to say it doesn't exist in our culture, but it exists in everyone's culture.
Yeah.
There's gangs everywhere.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's not just Black people. There's gangs everywhere. There's killings everywhere. There's parents losing their children everywhere, in every culture, in every country. And sometimes even worse than ours. Do you know what I mean? But why do we always have to publicise ours in a film? You know?
True.
I just want to see a bit more, even when you look at, I don't know about yourself, but I watched, when I was growing up, it's always a tearful film for me, Colour Purple. And I feel like it's such a deep film.
It's very deep.
And I feel like it's always showing the dark-skinned one in a negative, like the man don't want the dark-skinned girl, the dark-skinned girl's the one that got raped, the dark-skinned girl that's go through all this abuse and this and that. Like, sometimes I'm just thinking, come on, guys, like, you're making or giving the impression that this is what it is, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
And there's more to us. And I just really want, I want to be represented properly.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not saying we shouldn't show it, but come on. Like, I can't sit here and say I can name 10 positive Black movies right now that didn't have anything to do with drugs or gangs. I can't name 10.
No, I can't name 10. I don't think so.
You know, like... No. The only movie that comes up to my head right now, it's quite silly, but it's Sister Act.
Yeah, that was nice.
And that was nice. Like, it's musical. It was fun. So it's still got the music side to it. It's still got the kind of poverty school, but it also showcases our talent. And we are a bunch of talented people. Like, we are creatives. And if you look back on it, like, I don't know loads and loads and loads about my Black history, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend that, oh my God, I know all this. But I do know we made some phenomenal things. Like things like the traffic lights.
Yeah, and the telephone.
Do you understand what I'm saying? To communicate. The two biggest things that we use and that keeps us safe, the traffic lights, so there's no accidents on the road, and to communicate with our children, to get a job, whatever it is, the phone is needed.
Yeah.
And we invented that. Why can't there be a program about that to say why that person felt the need that communication had to be more than paper and pen? Yeah. And make the children know, so what is the next thing that you're going to make that the world is waiting on and that they're going to need? We are creatives and we need to see that. And we need to normalize kids watching programs like that, watching documentaries of what we have done. Instead of everyone writing on their status, have you watched all this Top Boy yet? Can we talk about it? And I'm not, again, I want to make it really clear, I got nothing against Top Boy. What I'm saying, alongside it, let's have something else with it.
But you could take some positivity from Top Boy. There was some good acting, really, really good. If you just have to take the positive side and say there was some good, really good acting in there. And all right, the storyline was about drugs and killing and them sort of things. But if you look on the positive, I suppose we have to look on that. There was some really good acting in there. You know, I know I've watched it all. I have watched it all. I've watched the whole series.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it. The last one I didn't too much. But, you know, as I said, there's some good acting, really good acting. And if you think about where some of those actors have come from as well. So we'd have to take that positivity from it. That's all we can take from it.
And that's, I think, guess my point. That's all we're taking from it.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I want to take the whole film. I want to take the whole cast. I want to take the whole thing and be like, oh my gosh, like, you represent my son. You represent how I want my future king to act. I need some representation. Like, I want to see it. Like, again, shout outs to them. We're not saying nothing. I have to keep on saying it because I don't want people to attack the YouTube channel. But I'm just saying we want more. We want more positivity. We want more community and unity together. We want to see more positive rallies. We want to see more positive songs out there. We want to see more positive acting. Like you said, they're creative. They're talented. They're coming from, I guess, from nothing to something. But I want to see them on Coronation Street or having their own Coronation Street, South Endon Street, whatever we want to call it. We want to have our own. Do you know what I mean? We want to get jokes. We're not hiding behind it, but we want to have a TV show. Well, I'm really excited for a TV show that can just talk like how we're talking here, just about our struggles and our this and that and where we got to now and how we got there, to encourage the children to say this. Actually, this is my penthouse. This is how I become a billionaire. This is the strategies that I use. I find in our coach as well, because let's just be honest, we're a bit selfish. If I'm making it, I'm not trying to bring a brother on or a sister on, and we've got this kind of thing that we feel threatened by each other. And it's like, it's so silly. There's so much room for everyone. Like, I'm really passionate about children in the care system. Obviously, everyone knows I grew up in care myself. And I went to a networking event and they were saying there was like, and I'm just quoting a number, I can't remember the exact number, so 82,000 children or billion children that need a bed to sleep in. So that means you need about 80,000 children's homes. There's not enough children's homes out there. There's not enough foster carers. So becoming a foster carer, opening up a children's home, you're not a threat to anyone. These children need a bed. So even if you're next door to someone, you can't look at it as my competition. You've got to look at it as I'm trying to give someone a home. And I think the time, or what we need to do, is change our mindset of how we see things. If I see that you've opened up a successful Lock hairdressers and I see that you've got 100 customers, I can open up one next door to you because there's another 100 that are now locks in their hair and need somewhere else. And then you should be able to recommend me and I should be able to recommend you, and we're supposed to be all able to eat from that table. And it's that simple. I think we need to stop thinking, she's a competition. I'm not telling her. I'm not telling her a secret. I'm not telling her how I make that. I'm not going to tell them about that networking. I'm not going to, I'll tell you next time, or I've done it already, then I tell you. Like, bring people in. Like, I think that's another thing we don't do. We don't, stick that, because I'm like, we don't bring people in. We feel so threatened by each other sometimes. And if something that I do want to change is that negativity of being threatened by each other. We should be loving towards each other. We should be prayerful. We should be mindful. And I think that way we can build back our village. You know, it says it takes a village to raise a child. And I think right now, our black children, because that's what we're talking about, melanin people at the moment, are raising or rising each other. And there's no real role model guidance. So it's almost like the saying says, the blind leading the blind. And that boy can't cross the road to that postcode because his life's going to be in danger. So he can't get some good teaching from that granddad that's been here for 20 years and can tell you some home truths and some reality checks, because he's scared if he crosses over again, that might be the last cross he does. And I think that scares me as a young lady with a son, with a dark-skinned boy. Sometimes I say to myself when he goes out, God, please just bring my son home. And my heart goes out to the parents that sons haven't come home, the daughters that haven't come back home. Of course. And they're killed by their own black brothers and sisters. And then we cry and we say, not another one, not another one. I really want us to be the generation that actually changes that for ourselves, changes that actually we're doing a lot of killing to ourselves and then blaming others. Like, let's take the blame game away. Let's stop having parents crying for their sons and daughters. I don't want to keep on seeing my children, and I say my children as a black woman, on T-shirts saying RIP. I don't want to see kids scared to go to their kids' funerals, their friends' funerals, because they're scared that the ops are going to go to their funerals. I don't want to know that I watched on TV the other day, a boy stabbed up a boy in the train. I don't want to be on public transport and thinking, I'm sitting next to a black boy that could be my son, but has he got a knife? I don't want to live in fear of my own.
True.
And then blame society. I just feel like we got to get to a stage where we are going to change mindsets. We're going to have these kind of open conversations about colorism, being a melanin person. Are we more racial to ourselves than they are to us? How do we bridge that gap? How do we stop that gap? And what are we doing about it? So I guess one last question before we kind of wrap it up to yourself is, if you could change something for us as dark-skinned women, what would you change and why would you change it?
What would I change? That we all loved ourselves. We all love the skin we're in.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we don't love who we are because you wouldn't be bleaching. Yeah. So love who you are. Whether you're round, you're fat, you're melanin, whatever. Just love who you are. And once you love who you are, people will come to you. You don't have to go to them. So that's what I would change.
Brilliant. And I think for myself, what I would change is similar to yourself. It's just having a clearer understanding of you are accepted. I'd more just want people to take away application forms that decide, or you make a judgment on me already because I'm Black, Afro, Caribbean. I want that all to be taken, or my age or whatever. I just want it to be all taken away and just all of us to be treated like humans and love upon each other, treat us right, and understand that love is the most powerful thing that you can do. Self-love is the most powerful thing that you can have, regardless of where you started from and where you're going. Self-love is important, and it's important that we stand out as individuals. I'm so proud when I locks my hair. It's the best thing I've ever done. Like, it's my hair. It can grow as long as anybody else's. I love it. It's easy to handle. It's not hard. And I don't want people to look at it and, can I touch it? Can I do this? No, it's just hair. It's mine. It's just normal. Just normalize things. It's just normal. See a dark-skinned girl with locks hair. It's just a normal thing. It's not a thing that you have to be in an awkward position, or you go into a place and because I'm dark-skinned, you're like, oh, do you have jerk chicken? No, I don't. You know, like that. Just have normal conversations. Don't feel that you have to say something extra because you see locks, or don't assume, oh, that person's not going to eat pork because they got locks, or she's not going to do this, or she might smoke weed because she's got like assumptions. I guess I would change that. Let's have no prejudgment.
Yeah.
Just judge someone for what they say and not what they look like.
Yes.
So yeah, I just want to look at the bag and see. So I think, as you guys first saw, because I did say I'm going to get back to the bag and what the purpose is of this bag. So when we started our conversation, myself and Vicky, the bag was empty and you can see through it. And throughout our conversation, we would like put a sticker in it, or we was putting stickers on it and you might not have seen it. And my point of this exercise or game is, it's not a game. We as dark-skinned women, these things are stuck on us and you no longer can see through us because you've placed all these labels on us and not understanding who we are. You've made an assumption. You've just put us in a box, and I'm tired of these labels. I'm tired of people making us walk around with a bag heavier than it needs to be. It is very clear that we belong in society. It's very clear that you need to see through the other things. It's very clear that we should be treated the same. But if you feel nervous or you feel that you have to stick these things on us, you change who we are. And what we are clearly saying today is that we don't need to bleach our skin. We don't need to be told that we're too loud. We don't need to be given any extra labels apart from we are strong Black women.
Yes.
And that's it. So we need to see through all the rubbish, see through all the crap, see through all these stickers and stuff, and just see us for us. The more you put things on us, the more you're not going to know who we are. You've made an assumption and your assumption is wrong. Our purpose on earth is exactly the same as yours. We have an assignment to do and we're going to do it in our unique way. And we mustn't be ashamed or embarrassed of the way of who we are. And for the little girls that carry around your bag or think like this, Don't let anyone tell you what should go on the outside of your bag, the outside of your skin. So don't let no one tell you that you have to bleach. Don't let no one tell you have to wear makeup. Don't let no one tell you that you have to trim it down, dim it down. No, the inside is still empty. The inside is the true you. And that's what needs fulfilling, not the outside, but the inner you. Because once you have dealt with the inner core of yourself, the outside will shine and take off any labels that anyone is trying to place on you. So hopefully this game of bag, you will understand it, and that we've really kind of given you an insight, a small insight of life as a dark-skinned woman, as a melanin queen. And we are happy to have your opinion, for you to comment on it. And again, I want to really, really stress, I know we've touched upon a few different topics. This is just our personal opinion. You're allowed to have yours also. I'm happy for you to come on the channel to speak about something that you're passionate about. This is something we were passionate about. I just hope you've enjoyed episode 9. And anyone that knows me, I always end my show say, this is your girl Purpose. I'm out.